let's give some credit where credit is due. Andrew Yang people. The question is how many critiques of him can you tolerate in one video, even if it's positive, before you have a tantrum?
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game. Andrew Yang's UBI is incredibly regressive, and he doesn't have a faith in people or democracy. Please read up on it. However, I think that this was bold. This was compassionate. This is the correct policy. Here he is with Crystal Ball, who... I've had this conversation with her, and this is something she takes really seriously, something we should all take seriously. There's an actual area in reality that Bernie could go further on. And Andrew took this opportunity to talk about serious drug decriminalization.
I would decriminalize opiates that are being used for personal use and aren't being distributed. So in addition to decriminalizing marijuana, I would decriminalize opiates for personal use.
That's a big deal. I mean, does that include heroin?
Yes, it does. I mean, at this point, what's happened is you had this OxyContin addiction that has morphed into fentanyl and heroin,
right,
which are frankly more accessible and sometimes less expensive than the OxyContin that started the addiction chain.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Portugal model, what they've done? Because it's very similar to what you're saying. They essentially decriminalized all drug use, including heroin. They have injection sites where people can go and be dosed, but also have access to treatment rather than being thrown in prison. We're not talking about dealers here. We're talking about individual addicts. I mean, is that consistent with what you're talking about here?
Yeah, I was inspired by Portugal's success, where in the wake of this change in approach, they saw a massive reduction in both overdose rates and substance abuse rates. So I'm for safe injection sites, safe consumption sites, and I'm for referring addicts to treatment instead of jail and letting them know this.
Excellent. Everybody should follow Andrew Yang's lead on this. Bernie's right on marijuana, and that puts him well ahead of the rest of the field. Of course, Joe Biden is the architect of so much human misery. Joe Biden attacked and pushed Ronald Reagan from the right in the 80s. Most other candidates haven't put anything significant on the ball. Cory Booker has done some good and laudable work on this, but no one's come near this. So good for Andrew Yang. I guess also Tulsi Gabbard also talked about marijuana legalization. Good for her. No one's talked about the Portugal model. Andrew Yang's in another league on this. So credit where credit is due segment. Props to Andrew Yang.
I forgot even what I wanted to say about that. I do think we want to note that we just criticized Bernie Sanders, folks.
Whoa. And somehow we were all able to do that.
Yeah, you should.
But also, I said it about something that was actually happening in reality. It wasn't a feeling or an entitlement or a made-up projection based off of nothing. It was an actual thing that when Bernie was on with Crystal Ball, he mentioned his correct position on marijuana, but didn't go further than that where he's wrong. So I was able to point that out.
Michael, I don't know if everyone just heard that because the stream just went down and my computer isn't working. Is yours working?
Yeah, Andrew Yang is leading Kamala Harris
in Cali,
which
is awesome.
Also beating Beto and Buttigieg because
he's talking about real material
because he's a
things.
Better person and a better candidate than
Definitely.
those party flacks that are just coming to crush the movement.
Without a doubt. I also I will say though that I have heard many people say that they don't want us to criticize Bernie for not embracing the Portugal model. A lot of people have said it, folks.